What's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and welcome to yet another episode of Wolf Tales. Today we have yet another exciting episode coming for you, so if you guys are hyped, make sure you guys click that like button down below for me, because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing and leaving a comment in the comment section down below for me. And without further ado, we're going to go right on into it. Abby-chan, wake up! You're awake. I'm sorry to disturb your slumber.
Don't worry about it. What's up, boy? It's dinner ready?
Yes, almost, but before that... Oh... Look at Fuyu. She's so cute. Oh my goodness, I just want to pet her little ears as she sleeps. Look at how adorable she is. I gotta wonder about those pants, though. How long has she had those things? The moment I attempt to stand up, I realize what Midai is staring at. It seems at some point during my slumber, Fuyu started to snuggle up against my body, ultimately succumbing to the urge to take a nap. With her legs propped up on my lap, she gradually had fallen asleep, and is now sleeping soundly next to me. Wow, Fuyu seems like a completely different person when she's asleep. I'm in two minds about whether I should actually wake her up or not. Looking down at the peaceful, content look on Fuyu's face, I feel a slight tug inside my chest. Contrary to the attitude she usually displays while she's awake, Fuyu currently looks like an innocent, adorable little puppy. How on earth could I put an end to that? Let's let her sleep a while longer. Dinner will be reheated anyway. It would be a shame to wake her up unnecessarily. Yeah, I guess you're right. After all, Fuyu must be pretty tired if she's willing to sleep on my leg. Hearing my take on the matter, Midari smiles and shakes her head. I don't think that's the case at all. I understand how Fuyu's actions must seem to someone who doesn't understand her well, but the truth is, Fuyu is more insecure and needy than she lets on. I might be kind of guilty of that sometimes. Like, very guilty of that sometimes. The problem with me is that I don't hide the fact that I'm needy. It's kind of been a problem, actually, because I've had some previous girlfriends not be too happy about that. Well, okay, one of the two of them. I've only had two, because since I'm trans, as everyone should know, most people don't like a trans girl, especially other girls. But God, man, I wish I could look like her. But I'm very guilty of being needy. And it's weird. I have that. I'm usually like really energetic and needy once I get to know someone really well and I get into that kind of relationship vibe. But I also can be kind of like her and be that kind of tsundere type. I wouldn't be like, it's not like I like you or anything, but kind of like that. I'm good. Or I'm fine by myself. I don't need you around. It's okay. You can go do your own thing, and then I can just cry. Fuyu is just too afraid to let others know how she truly feels. Minari takes a seat next to Fuyu on the floor while speaking tenderly. It's clear from her tone of voice that she cares truly about Fuyu, and even if Fuyu won't say so directly, I'm sure she feels the same way about Minari. Fuyu always puts up a tough front, but she's still just a young woman. She's just pushing herself to a frightful degree these past few days. Were it not for moments like this, I think she would collapse under the weight of it all. Fuyu is trying so hard to make everything right. No matter what I say to her, all she can think about is bringing me back home and returning to our clan. Hearing Mirari take on Fuyu's actions, my impression of Fuyu begins to improve. I start to stroke the fierce young girl's head, treating her like a pet despite the displeasure she has already expressed to that end. Nonetheless, in her current state, Fuyu doesn't possess the patience of mind to reject my goodwill. Instead, her body moves on its own. Fuyu's head moves towards my hand, as though begging me to continue petting her. She's fast asleep. Fuyu licks my forearm as I continue to pet her. Seeing that, Midari lets out a soft sigh. If only Fuyu was honest when she was awake. If she was, then maybe the three of us could truly stay like this after all. Stay like this? You mean in my cabin? Rather than avert her gaze or retract her words, as she has until now, Midori looks down at Fuyu's sleeping face with a smile. After a few seconds of silence, Midori opens her mouth once more, starting with an unexpected notion. You know, Abby, there was a time when our pack leader ordered us all to kill Fuyu. Nani? What? How could you kill this gorgeous sleeping face? Especially, like, as a child? Oh my goodness. I would have a hard time. I'd be like freaking Maze Hughes. Has anyone seen Full Metal Alchemist? I would be Maze Hughes about this girl as my daughter. as a little girl in general. It would be like, look at her. She's the pride and joy of our clan. She's so cute. My eyes and mouth open wide at Midori's revelation. Shit. There we go. Rather than address my surprise, however, Midori simply continues to speak unabated. It's the job of our pack leader to make some tough decisions on behalf of everyone. They must do what's best, even if others wind up hating him for it. The order to kill Fuyu was one such decision. It was during one of the hardest winters the pack had ever endured. They hadn't found a permanent dwelling like the one in the mountain yet, either. He said that we couldn't take a runt like her. She was just dragged the whole pack down with her and caused so many hardships further down the track. At the time, nobody wanted to agree with him, and yet they all knew that he was right. It was nothing personal. She simply had to die for the sake of the pack. I swallow my words several times and try and think of how to best respond to Midori's revelation. What could I possibly say in response to something so horrible yet apparently necessary? Rather than risk offending Midori and her pack by saying something tactless, I decide to ask the obvious question. Well, what happened after that? Fuyu's still alive, so surely something must have happened. Midori nods. I was only a cub at the time, and the same age as Fuyu, so I don't remember this myself. But according to my mom, Fuyu's parents rebelled against the leaders, saying that they couldn't possibly kill their only daughter. And the leader took pity on them? Midori shakes her head. He exiled them both, along with Fuyu. He said that if they wanted to raise her, they were on their own, and they would receive no further help from the pack. It was a tough decision, both for Fuyu's parents and for our leader, but everyone agreed that that's how it had to be. Midori sighs and she thinks back on the decision her leader came to, despite her personal feelings about Fuyu. Shit. Cold, heartless, yet always doing what's best for the pack. That's the kind of man our leader was. That's the kind of man our leader was. Not a kind, charismatic leader beloved by our followers, but a ruthless man of action. And the kind nobody asked for, yet everyone understood why we need him. Midori speaks of the leader with a sad smile on her face. Seeing her mixed feelings come to the surface, a question pops in my head. Say, Midori, given that Fuyu always calls you princess, am I right in thinking that the pack leader is... Midori nods before I even finish speaking. That's correct. Our pack leader is, or at least our previous pack leader was, my father. Regarding my question before I even ask it, I press on. Was? What happened to him? Did he step down from the role? In a manner of speaking. He died 3 years ago protecting the pack from a bear. Since then, my mother has taken over leading the pack in his place. She's been doing a fine job, especially considering how half-wolves usually think of female leaders, but unfortunately I don't think the current arrangement will last much longer. Tears appear in the corner of Midori's eyes as she recounts her father's courageous death, and the burden currently being placed on her mother. Despite Midori's apparent desire to leave her pack, it's clear that she still thinks quite fondly of them. My mother, she is growing weary in her old age, and she does not possess my father's strength, nor does she bear his unyielding will. It's only a matter of time before she is crushed, if not by the weight of her position, then by old age and sickness. When that time comes, the line of succession will lead to... Midori opens her eyes wide as she suddenly realizes something. Hurriedly whipping her eyes and nose, she corrects her posture and attempts to clean up her appearance. I'm terribly sorry, Fuyu, Abby-chan. We were talking about Fuyu. My apologies. I was being selfish, and began prattling about my own circumstances. Before I can disagree with her, Midori goes back to talking about her dear friend Fuyu. Well, when my father died, it was decided that we needed to increase the size of our pack to make up for his disappearance. And seeing this as an opportunity to rejoin the pack, Fuyu's family came to us, and their runt now stronger than ever, and expressed their desire to return by our side. Bearing no personal grudge for the circumstances which led to their departure, they agreed to my mother's condition for their return, that Fuyu's family would serve mine forevermore. Since that day, Fuyu and I have been together, whether we liked it or not. And of course, over time, the two of us have grown close. Fuyu has become like a sister to me, and I cherish her more than anything. Fuck. So her father died 3 years ago. Okay, so this is the question, though. So her father's obviously supposedly pretty old, right? Her mother is in old age, which begs the question on whether or not the demi-wolf humans actually are like that weird middle ground. So maybe their middle age is like 30. And she's actually almost middle-aged by now. And should be taking a potential mate. I don't know. But it just seems odd that her mother is growing into old age. Not like her grandmother or something. So, like, because normally if you'd have it like in pure human circumstance, it would be her grandmother would be in old age, and that's why she has to do this, because her parents are like exiled or something. I don't know, but you get the idea. Her mom is in old age, which makes me think that basically she's reaching middle age, like ish, like the middle of an average demi-wolf human lifespan, you know? Exhausted from talking so long, Midori takes a well-deserved break and leans back onto the couch. Between making dinner, talking without pause, and recalling memories best left forgotten, Midori has quickly depleted the energy she had left. I figured Midori had her reasons for not wanting to tell me about her situation, but it looks like once she got started, she just couldn't stop. Who knows how long she's been holding all of that in, wanting to get it off her chest. I may not know about half-wolves, but I get the feeling from her story that they aren't exactly the touchy-feely type. I mean, considering that they have to be the touchy-feely type. Right? They sleep together, they bathe together, they hunt together. I mean, it's a pack. Like, wolves are in packs. They are together, like, all the time. What's this racket about?
Ugh. Awakened by Minot.
Awakened by Minotti's story, Fuyu raises her head and begins to rub her eyes sleepily. Oh, morning, princess. Good morning, Fuyu. Evening? That's right. I'm not the first one you should be greeting. Huh? Fuyu raises an eyebrow as Midori giggles. Rather than wait for Fuyu to notice me, I place my hand on her shoulder. Are you awake now, Fuyu?
Nani?
Fuyu tries to jump back in surprise. However, since she's still sitting on my lap, her action serves only to bring the two of us even closer together. Why is this human? Fuyu's face turns bright red in an instant as she realizes where she is and what she's doing. Sitting on my lap, looking at my face from so close that we could be kissing, words continue to fail her. I'm gonna fuck this up because I want to so bad. You fell asleep while we were snuggling. Don't you remember, Fuyu? When we were snuggling on the couch right up until the moment you fell asleep. Snuggling. No. I love her reactions. See, she's so fun to tease. Snuggling. No, that I would never. You must have moved your body while I was sleeping. I did no such thing. In fact, I tried to separate from you, but you wouldn't let me go at all. Liar! There's no way I would do something so shameless. This is definitely all you're doing. Actually, Abby-chan was quite careful not to wake you. They haven't moved at all since you two started waiting for dinner together. Oh, interesting. Maybe they wanted to use the singular gender neutral one there, so that way they didn't have to rewrite it. Dinner. At the moment of the magic word, Fuyu begins to sniff the air. Oh, Right, of course, that's what it is. I was hungry and tired, and your lap was so warm, so I naturally fell asleep on it. Silly of me. Of course, that's what happened. Why else would I be napping in a place like this? If that weren't the case, I'd never be caught sleeping on your smelly lap. You don't need to get so defensive, Fuyu. I'm not getting defensive. You're getting defensive. Why are we all getting defensive? Shut up. Fuyu finally removes herself from my lap and runs over to the kitchen, lured in by the smell of food. Even after she reached the food, Fuyu steals a few glances in my direction, then quickly averts her gaze when I catch her. I guess that's my cue. I'll bring dinner over in a moment. Just sit tight, Abby-chan. You're so thoughtful, Midori. Having filled our bellies, Midori, Fuyu, and I sit down on the couch once more, as we ponder what to do with ourselves. After napping earlier today, Fuyu and I are still full of energy. Midori, on the other hand, seems like she'll fall asleep at any moment, and is hanging on by sheer force of will. Really, I'm fine. I'm gonna go to bed when you do. She sounds, very similar to someone I know. Anyway, that would sound more convincing without the yawn at the start. Go to bed, Midori. You aren't gonna miss anything. But I don't feel tired. You're a terrible liar. Fine, stay up for all I care. I was just gonna watch some old VHS tapes anyway. VHS? What is that? I've never heard of that before. Yeah, most people under 20 haven't. It's a way for humans to watch movies and TV shows whenever they want. It's a bit dated now, but they still work as long as you have the right equipment. Movies and TV? Fuyu, do you understand what Abi-chan's talking about? I think I've heard of a TV. That's the magic box with moving pictures, isn't it? You're not wrong, but do you girls seriously not know what a television is? How could you be familiar with canned food and running water but not television? Even if you ask that, well, what does a television do that's so special? Running water and canned food provide us with sustenance. Why do we need television? You actually do have a point there. Television has a couple of uses, but it's mostly for entertainment. I pull out a box of VHS tapes and place it in front of the two wolf girls. Inside the box are dozens of tapes, still in their original cases, cover art and all. These are the VHS? That's right. Pick one you like and you like the look of, and we'll see what's on it. Okay. Minari and Fuyu start looking through the boxes of old tapes. After searching for a few seconds, they each pull out a single tape. Let's see what you got there. A documentary about animals of the grasslands. Yes, I'm quite curious to see how those in other climates thrive. I suppose you would be if you lived in the snow your entire life. What about you, Fuyu? I'm not sure I want to watch it, but the cover did catch my eye. That's okay. Show me what you've... I almost gab on my saliva as I stare at the tape in Fuyu's hand. On the young man, as a young blonde woman with a large dress dressed in nothing but a revealing swimsuit. Unlike the... Hey, what? The Grassland documentary, which is still in its original plastic sleeve, this video has been viewed so many times that the tape is beginning to wear out. Oh my god, wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, wait, what? What? Oh my god. This girl has freaking... Is it lesbian porn or is it straight porn? I mean, it's got a chick on it, so it's one of those two, right? Or maybe it's like freaking every porn. This is group. I don't know. What is the main character's kink? What manner of VHS is that? Are we gonna view that next? No, I mean, this one would bore the two of you to death. It's not the kind of thing you'd be interested in. Really? I did get the feeling I wouldn't like it. So it's a boring one after all, huh? Oh yes, quite boring. Let's put it back in the box at the way bottom so we don't pick it out ever again. I breathe a sigh of relief as the two wolf girls allow my slip-up to pass without a fight. Looks like I'll need to be more careful with that stuff as long as these two are here. I've been able to do things at my own pace until now, but I can't be so careless when guests are over. Yo, I'm still reeling. She has a freaking big tit lady on her fucking. Oh my god. Rather than dwell on Fuyu's discovery, I hurriedly crammed Midori's choice into the VHS player. After skipping through the ads, anti-piracy warnings, and other outdated product placements, I start the movie where the film crew are just at the beginning of the setup. The first few minutes of the film are explaining how the crew are looking for specific animals during today's outing, and how they plan on observing each one. Whether they'll succeed or not is yet to be seen. All they promise is to not hurt the animals and to view them from afar. Look at that! The water is flowing in a perfectly straight line without any chunks of ice floating in it, and the grass is everywhere. There isn't a single patch of snow to be seen. You're right, Princess. It's truly fascinating. With ready access to unfrozen water, do the animals living in these parts drink their fill and bathe whenever they feel the urge? Okay, wait. Pause. So they're in Oregon, right? We discovered that from the license plate. They're in Oregon, 100% in Oregon. I don't think there is a peak in Oregon that doesn't, well, that the snow doesn't melt ever. Oregon doesn't have that high of peaks. Like, I'm in Utah right now. When it's summer, those mountain peaks surrounding the entire vicinity of this place, there is not snow at the top of those mountains. You can see them. Oregon doesn't have as high a mountain peaks as it does here, does it? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm laughing my ass off. Words. The highest point in Oregon is Mount Hood. So this could potentially place on Mount Hood, which is let's see. 11,289 feet above sea level, right? So Kings Peak has 13,528. I mean, I'm telling you. Like, I mean, the odds of this place legitimately not having having snow all year round is very, very small. I imagine they must. Why else would they? Oh, look, Fuyu, look, the rabbit is drinking from the river. I see it, Princess. But where is all of its fur gone? It will never survive the winter like that. You're the last person who should be asking that. I smile wryly as the two girls excitedly point towards the television. Even Fuyu, who generally attempts to feign disinterest in such things, is clearly enjoying herself. So far, movie night is a resounding success. Huh? Where did all the animals go? Why are they now only showing humans? Looks like they're taking a break and discussing how to track down the next animal. Boring. I agree, actually. I don't. I find this fascinating. The humans are all huddling together to hold a strategy meeting just like we would. I think the people you're watching might claim that you have that backwards. Oh, look, a human city. Yuck, they're even further away from the grasslands now. They're going back to the studio to talk with some expert. My, that building is enormous. Are most human buildings as big as that? Oh, and the number of people, I've never seen so many human beings before. How nice it must be to live there. With one eye glued to the television, Midori starts to pull on my trousers. Alright. She wants to know about the city. Okay. The city is convenient, but it's not all that great to actually live there. Abby-chan, you grew up in a city like that? Oh, kind of. Maybe not quite as busy as that one, though. What's it like? Tell me! Grr. Hey, Princess, look. They've gone back to the grassy area now. They're cute animals and everything. Fuyu tries to unsuccessfully grab Midori's attention. Now that the video has moved away from human civilization, Midori's focus is solely on yours truly. Fine. Fuyu? In a huff, Fuyu mimics my actions from earlier and clumsily mashes the remote control until she succeeds on turning the television off. Fuyu, what's wrong? Nothing. She's jealous. She's jealous because you're paying attention to me. Fuyu pouts, and Mirari finally glances towards her. Sensing what's going on, I decide to put Fuyu out of her misery. I suppose it is getting rather late. We can continue watching the video some other time. For now, let's all go to bed. But I want to talk about human civilization. Oh, good idea, human. Or rather, that's exactly what I was thinking. Come here, princess. Let us go to sleep. Okay, if you insist. Good night, Abby-chan. Good night, Mirari and Fuyu. Good night. Without further complaint, Mirari curls up on the couch alongside Fuyu. Fuyu soon joins her and snuggles up close, as if making their dissonance moments ago. Content to leave the duo alone like that, I retreat to my bedroom and head to bed myself. Having napped for a while yesterday evening, I wake up earlier than usual this morning. Long before my largely unnecessary alarm clock can wake me up, I rise from my bed and begin to stretch. Unfortunately, even though I've awoken early, there's no reason for me to be awake at such time. It isn't yet warm enough to work, and there's no time-sensitive activities in my list of things to do. All I've done is deny myself a sleep in. I guess I'll go check on the girls. Maybe they have something they want to do this morning? I walk into the living room, half expecting to see Mirai's cooking and Fuyu sitting on the floor behind her impatiently. Surprisingly, however, the two wolf girls have yet to awaken. Looks like I'm the first one up. I guess they're too comfortable to move, the way they are now. Watching over the two for a moment, a smile naturally begins to creep onto my face. Mirari and Fuyu snuggle together, sharing one another's body warmth, resting on one another's fur, and generally finding pleasure in being with each other. If not for the creatures of their cuteness of their actions, I'd probably be jealous. What am I thinking? There's nothing to be jealous of. In fact, I should be thinking of ways to get rid of them even one day sooner. It's for their sake and mine that we go to our separate ways as soon as possible. Everyone knows that humans and half-humans aren't supposed to get involved with one another. We're too different. I mean, you said it was in the rule book. I'm still waiting for this rule book to show up. We're too different. Having one try to interrogate and integrate into society of the other will only result in pain for both sides. Over the years, many cautionary tales have been told regarding humans and half-humans getting along. Humans feeding starving half-humans, only then to become their dessert. Oh man, that sucks. Half-humans seeking refuge in human homes, then ultimately slaughtering the families within stealing. Oh my god, so it's all about the half-humans just murdering people? Awesome. There have been cases of mass killings on both sides, starting with nothing more than subtle differences of their way of life. In hindsight, I've taken a pretty substantial risk by taking on a half-wolf, a member of one of the most aggressive and bestial races, into my home. That being said, looking at those two right now, it's pretty hard to imagine either one of them turning on me. Hell, Mirari acts more human than most of the people I've ever known, and she certainly knows her way around the kitchen better than I do. Speaking of which, prying myself away from the adorable sight, I walk into the storeroom in search of something easy to cook for breakfast. When I start to prod around the storeroom, however, I quickly realize something important. Oh man, where did all the food go? I thought I had enough to last until summer. I know those two eat a lot more than I do, but we shouldn't have gone through that much food already. Perfectly splashed my head. It's possible that Mirari may have moved the rest of the supplies she was cleaning up, but without knowing where she moved them to, that thought does me little good. I guess I'll make a trip into town after all. I was hoping to put this off until summer, but in a way, this might be for the best. A more up-to-date map will be useful after all, and I do need to gather information about the recent changes to the terrain. Off to town I go then. Without dallying any further, I grab my keys and head to the side of the house. I then jump in my truck, turn the key, and start to rev the engine. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. It hasn't been that long since I last drove you. I continue to rev the engine in an attempt to warm up the truck. Unfortunately, my efforts seem to result in nothing but an increased level of noise. Come on, you good-for-nothing. Grrr. Huh? Arr, arr, arr. Grrr. Ruff, ruff. Stay away from my princess, you! The hell? I turn to look towards the house only to find that I've awoken my guest. I love the fucking music, dude. Rather than address me personally, however, the two girls seem to be fixated on the truck. Fuyu, look, it has Abby-chan. It does too. Give her back, beasts. I'll cut you open with my claws if I have to. Be careful, Fuyu. We don't know what it's capable of. Don't hurry, princess. I've got this. Fuyu slowly approaches. Her hair is standing on end. Her claws ready by her sides, and her teeth are bared. I'll help too. We're coming for you, Abby-chan. Right behind her, Mirari steps forward warily, armed with a frying pan from the kitchen. Mirari looks at like a frightened housewife rather than a wolf. Nonetheless, she comes forth bravely, ready to fight my truck for the sake of freeing the person trapped within. Girls, please stop. I'm sorry I scared you, but I'm fine, really. And Fuyu, you've seen my truck before, remember? we drove you back in the what the fuck? I can still hear the human speak from within its belly. We're like, you've been in my car. What the? Okay. Abby-chan must still be okay. Yeah, but not for long. We'll need to get her out of there before the beast finishes digesting her. How do we do that? Do you know how to fight this thing? No, but I'd wager it's no different than any other beast. Tear its throat out with your teeth and it'll die. Tear its... I couldn't possibly. Don't worry, princess. I'll do it. No, don't do it either. Just go back to the cabin, okay? This hunk of junk is nothing for you to get worked up about. Fuyu? Don't listen to it, princess. The beast is mimicking Abby-chan's voice, so we'll let our guard down. As soon as it turns our back, it'll pounce. Eep! Oh, for the love of God. Before Fuyu can scratch the paint, I turn the engine off and hop out. Look, I keep telling you, Whoa! Abby-chan! Oh, thank goodness you're alright. I was so scared. I heard a furious rumbling the moment I woke up, and I came out to see what it was. The beef had already eaten you whole. I thought it was too late, and that you... I exhale deeply and place my hand on Mirari's head. There, Yoshi, it's okay. This thing is nothing to be worried about. But Abby-chan... Grr. Ha! Prod. Is it truly dead? With Mirari cowering behind me, I watch on in amazement as Fuyu continues to cautiously poke at my truck with her claws. Fuyu, you don't need to do that. It's a machine, just like a kettle or a television. It's not gonna hurt you. Like I believe that. This creature has already devoured you whole once. If it isn't dead, then what's gonna stop it from doing so again? I scratch my head in confusion as I try to think of a way to explain to Fuyu how vehicles work. Given her reaction to the noise and commotion it had generated so far, however, that would be easier said than done. Forget it. You know what? I tamed it. I tamed the beast. It's under my control now. It won't harm anyone ever again. Oh, I see. Amazing! As expected of Abby-chan. They won't accept that it's a machine. But they bought that explanation straight away? Good grief. Alright. Already far more than exhausted than I should be, given the time of day, I sigh once more and walk the girls back inside. By the gods. Alright, well thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as leaving a comment in the comment section and hitting that subscribe button. And we'll see you all next time.